Hey everyone, it's Steve,
Hey, it's Blake.
Barry here.
Greg.
and we're here to talk about Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, so Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch, it's been a game that we've been looking forward to for a long time. Possibly Game of the Year contender for NintendoFuse with that and the Zelda game. I don't know. We'll see what happens on our next podcast, who we crown the top. I'm just assuming here that it's probably going to be between those two. But let's just talk about general impressions before we dive into any details and everything. Blake, what's your general impressions of the game?
Yeah, I would venture to say it is my pick for Game of the Year if I had a choice there. So, yeah, I just love Mario. So, I think this brings me back to Super Mario 64 so much that it just brought a smile to my face the entire time. Literally, just thrilled to be able to play, and I felt like the controls worked so well. And even though I had to do some moments where they kind of forced motion controls on me, I was okay with it. I felt like Mario controlled so well. I felt like there was just so much fun, and I just wanted to stop and enjoy the experience as much as I possibly could. And so I love those collecting things and doing all that fun. I've gotten like almost all the purple coins in all of the kingdoms, but I still am only 100% of moons through the Metro Kingdom. So,
Nice.
so I still have even more ahead of me on my journey. So
Cool.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah.
Barry, what do you think so far?
Well, when I was a kid and back in 8th grade, I didn't have every system. In fact, I only had a few. And the N64 had just come out, and I did not get an N64 for about 2 years. But I did rent one on launch. It wasn't launch. It was 2 weekends after launch with Mario 64, and I only had a weekend with it, and I did as much as I could. I woke up at 6 a.m. just to play Mario 64. It captivated me, and I eventually, I got it, and I won, got all 120 stars. But I've been waiting for that type of experience. And Sunshine was close, but I've been waiting for that since 1996. So when Odyssey came out, I opened it up, and this time I had it. This time it was mine. It wasn't just for a weekend, but I didn't care. I played it like it was just for that weekend. And apparently I did it really quickly, over 50 hours, but under 55. I 100%ed it completely. And the entire time, over 50 hours, I'm surprised I have muscles left in my face because I smiled the entire time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there was, outside of the jump rope, and darker side, those two zones, outside of that, I had a smile on the entire time. It was just, it brought me back to my childhood. It brought me back to that wonder that you're. And there's only one other game that's done that in recent memory, and of course that's Breath of the Wild. So I'm not sure where I'm standing.
Yeah.
But all I know is that I was completely captivated. I just wanted to play Mario. Like, everything else got pushed aside when I could. It's just one of those games that you have to experience. And I know it's not for everybody, but for those that love 3D Mario's, the open world aspect, the freedom, the playground, the play box, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I've just had a blast with it.
Cool. Greg, what you thinking so far?
Well, after quite an essay there from Barry, I absolutely loved it. I mean, Mario 64 is still one of my favorite Mario games especially for 3D games, and I've been getting kind of worn out from all the 2D games and like the 3D world experiences, and I'm very, very happy to see another sandbox type Mario game closer to Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. And I was definitely very impressed. I was very happy to have demoed the game a few weeks before it came out, and then just being able to just have my own copy on launch day. I was just super excited, and I was always having lots of fun. And then now that I'm most of the way through the game and on post-game stuff, it's getting to the frustrating part, and it's hopefully I can still keep pushing through it as the time goes on. So
Yeah.
definitely enjoyed every single thing. Love collecting all the moons. They're just all over the place, and just always fun to find one at the most random spots of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna agree with you, you guys. I hate the game. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun. I feel at such a loss though, because I am a week behind all of you guys who started like on launch day. I was holding out, hoping Nintendo would be able to get us that review code, and didn't happen. So I went and to Barry's surprise, I got a physical copy of Super Mario Odyssey. And,
I am so proud of you.
That's good.
And yeah, it's been great the whole time. It's been one of those games that I can't wait to play again. And honestly, I was late even coming to this recording because I was finishing up something. I was like, I gotta finish this up, and then I was like, oh no, it's time to start recording, and I haven't even got my camera, my computer, or anything set up. So it's a blast so far, and I'm more actually of a fan of the 2D Mario games. Not that I hate 3D, but I just prefer 2D, and those are the games I played pretty much every 2D game all the way through. But the 3D games I've kind of only dabbled in here and there. Some of them I played all the way through, some of them I haven't. It's kind of like Zelda on the handheld side. I've only dabbled in them, but I played like all the console versions of Zelda. So except for Link Between Worlds, because that was awesome. But yeah. So this is one of those games that I keep coming back to. I think it's cool. Something even to throw back to the 2D stuff, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's been a blast. Let's get into details a little bit. What do you guys think of the look of the game? Let's talk about the look of it before we kind of dive into more details. I think it's one of the best looking Switch games that I like. I have other games that are on other systems that push graphics to the limit, and I never really thought Mario is one of those games that always pushes it to the limit. But especially when you get to some of those levels that, let's say there's rain, and it was like really cool when I was just experiencing that earlier today actually, and there was like tons of rain on the screen, and just like the contrast and everything was popping, and it looks really pretty.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there too, Steve. I think it's beautiful. Like, I just think the kingdoms and trying to find a nice area where you can just sit back and enjoy the scenery a little bit kind of made me enjoy it a little bit more. So the other day I was randomly on like the top of the highest tower in New Donk City, and at the very tip top, I won't spoil it, but there's a moon there. And then there's but if you're up there, I just let Mario fall asleep up on the little tip thing, and he just like falls asleep, and I'm just looking around, and yeah, I had to take a picture, and I wanted to be like, this is not a good place to take a nap, kids, something like that. But yeah, but it just was like, it was so cool just to kind of look around and just to experience some of this. I mean, even Mario in a semi-real world is just, it was strange to me at first, and the people probably don't look the greatest, right? But I think the amazingness is in how they bring it to life all around you too. So I think that's what I like about the graphics. I think the colors and the contrast and things even further down the road that you're going to experience in some lands is really amazing. When Mario goes into cold water and he turns white like frost, and yeah, it's just or you're in certain situations and it gets darker on you. So yeah, it's just amazing to see what they did. Yeah, when he's in the water, his clothes are actually wet and drip for a little bit. Like, I'm like, that's cool. So I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Yeah, the presentation is top notch, and it kind of highlights one of Nintendo's biggest faults. And I know people will be like, wait, what do you mean? Like, the game looks beautiful. And it does. The game is gorgeous. And like Steve, I've got plenty of games that push those graphics far beyond what the Switch can do. But the problem is that Nintendo knows how to optimize their hardware. And they do not seem to want to share that information with third parties. And I think that if a third-party game or maker was making Super Mario Odyssey, it would not look nearly as good. And that is part of Nintendo's charm. Because, like you said, the people don't look the most realistic in New Donk City, but it's about the artistic. It's like Wind Waker. Wind Waker, when it came out, was totally the opposite of photorealism. I mean, it led to Twilight Princess because of the oh my god. But then you look how they both aged. I'm not talking the HD Wii U versions. I'm talking the GameCube originals. Wind Waker has aged so gracefully and looks beautiful, where Twilight Princess is a little bit rougher. So that is something that this game will not suffer from. This game is just gorgeous. Like you mentioned the little effects, like the snow water. For me, it was when I first ran into a cactus on accident, and I noticed, oh my god, his nose has pokes in it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like that was they didn't need to do that. They went above and beyond. And like my favorite, which is something Steve hasn't gone to yet, but my favorite kingdom is Seaside. And I just sat there watching the sunset. Like I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous, like the reflection off the water. And I hate water levels. I despise water levels, and that was my favorite one. And I went into it like, oh, this is gonna suck, a second water level, oh boy. And it turned out like the way they designed it, the presentation is just top notch, and the music is awesome. To go along with it, I wound up having like the Woodland Kingdoms theme put on repeat because my wife's like, "Oh my god, I love that theme," and I'm like, "Okay, it's on repeat."
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my first real effect was like when he actually caught fire, and that was really, really cool because I really love the way they did with like Breath of the Wild and like everything catching on fire. But then to see like Mario like turn like black, like soot from like touching a flame, that is just really, really cool. But
that's good.
The one thing that I didn't really care for is like the limited idea around the backgrounds, because there's like the edge of the maps, and it doesn't. I kind of like their approach to Breath of the Wild when you are at the edge of the map, and it's not just like a endless like zone, and it just looks like it goes on and stuff. So there's a couple points where I just like would fall off the map because it'd be like, holy shoot, the floor is kind of thin. But I don't know. That was my main critique, at least with the graphic presentation. Everything else was completely 100% gorgeous. Loved it. Loved all the small details and everything. Like everything has hats. Everything has like. Everything is so great.
Yeah. Let's talk about the music, though, because music has always been a huge aspect of Mario games. Not so much like Zelda games, where the music tends to play a role in the game itself on multiple occasions, but Mario music has just been one of those iconic soundtracks where you hear it and you instantly know that's Mario game, and and that sounds fun and it's exciting, and maybe I want to listen to this all the time, sort of thing. What do you guys think of the music so far?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I think the Cascade Kingdom right at the beginning too, almost, is just like one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Maybe it just like it gripped me. I really enjoyed that, and then thinking about the music a little bit, when you turn into like 8-bit Mario and the music changes, there's just like that little shift. I'm like, oh, that is awesome. Like, well done. Like, I just want to stop and be like, thank you, Nintendo. Yeah, like, this is great. And I just enjoyed, experiencing all of that. And then later on, you get to play music for a little Toad, and you get to jam out with him different places, and you play the right song, and he really likes. That's probably spoiler T. I'm sorry, but yeah, but it's then you kind of listen to that for a little bit. You're like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like it, and going up to some of like the riding the vine and going up into the air like you can do in the Woodland Kingdom, and then that music kicks on from like it's Super Mario World or something back then, you know, or and I was just like, oh, this is so great. Like it was awesome. I just enjoyed sitting back listening to it too. So yeah.
Yeah, there are remixes from Mario World and 64 and Galaxy and stuff that when played, they play so subtly and just at the right time to catch that nostalgia. You mentioned about the going 8-bit. Another aspect is going underwater or going like into the lava and stuff. The music does actually get lower, like if you were underwater. And I'm like, oh, like it's subtle little touches like that just help immerse. You know, the Cascade Kingdom is another one. As for after you beat the game, they actually pulled an original Xbox thing where you can actually choose what song you want to hear and play that instead of whatever world you're in. So if you have a particular thing like like the Mario World song, the remix, like that's only when I'm up in the clouds. I want to hear that all the time. You can play that all the time and just run around whatever level, which I thought was a neat bonus.
That is.
For me, you know, a lot of people go like Jump Up Superstar, which of course is a phenomenal song. But for me, what got me was the fact that there is a second vocal track that they were kept quiet about. And when that plays, I was like so pumped up to hear that. And the adrenaline was like, this is awesome. Like this fits. Like this just fits the mood. Like I feel more empowered to do the objective, and I'm trying not to spoil it, but I'm more empowered to do the objective with that extra track on. I'm like, all right, I gotta go back and listen to that now because, and it's just great. Like they and it feels. I believe it's orchestrated again. I think ever since Galaxy they've done that, and I think Galaxy was very important because of that change. And I'm glad they keep it. I'm glad they keep going orchestration. It's like you know there's real music out there. You know, real instruments. It definitely makes it more fantastic.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's cool when you have music that wants you to make you experience the game more, like you were saying, like and go after certain objectives and stuff.
It
like,
really does.
That's important.
I mean, Blake and Greg have gotten to that point. Again, I'm trying not to spoil it, but I'm assuming it did the same thing to you. Like, oh man, now I really got to do it.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah.
Cool.
I've always
Greg,
been.
are you humming music still in your head?
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm always the sucker for the nostalgic stuff. As soon as I heard like the N64 Bowser's Road remix, that was just so incredible. That's like one of my favorite songs from there. I had the Mario 64 soundtrack, and I would like listen to that like Bowser's Road one like so many different times. But just to like hear it remixed in this game is just so incredible. And that also goes along with a lot of the other ones, slightly other callbacks from the other games as well. I even really liked the special stuff on the Mushroom Kingdom. That was so flippin' incredible to hear all those sounds again.
Oh yes. Inside Peach's castle and stuff, and we are getting to spoilers.
We are. We're gonna. For everybody who's watching, like, I mean, there's some things we've talked about that it's like, okay, obviously we're probably gonna have some sort of Peach's castle sort of thing. There's gonna be some battle with Bowser. Those are kind of like very minor spoilers. If you're spoiled by that, I apologize, but I think it's pretty obvious. We're playing a Mario game, and personally, I have not finished everything in the game yet, so I am not upset that you guys have talked about that so far. So I'm hoping other people aren't upset yet.
I will say this, Steve. Also speaking on the music quickly, Bowser's Kingdom, which obviously again not a spoiler. You know you're going to go after Bowser. His kingdom's music is amazing. Like that took me by surprise. Like it's unlike any other Bowser theme in the history of Mario, and it's just an amazing rockin' theme that cool. Gets you pumped.
Is it similar to what they did with, because I love Bowser's theme in Mario Kart 8. Like Mario Kart 8, the Bowser's track was one of the best ones in that game because it was rockin'.
This is totally
even better than that?
It's rockin', but it's a whole different musical style that has never been done with Bowser before, or I think maybe even in Mario. Possibly, but yeah, and I just want to say more, but just when you get there, the whole thing is not what you're probably going to expect, and then the music goes along with that theme, and it's just awesome.
Cool. Mm-hmm. That's so great. So let's talk before we'll jump into spoilers a little later. So if you are watching, we'll have a section where I'm probably going to pull myself out and not listen to everything. But as far as how far you guys have been in the game, I know Barry, you said you completed the entire thing so far. 100%. Blake, Greg, how far are you guys along?
Yeah, I've gotten through pretty much everything, but now I'm going back and getting every single moon possible, and I've just made it through the Metro Kingdom. So
how many moons though? Like
what's that?
How many moons?
I was right past 600 something. I think I think it's like 610 something like that. So
Did you go do Darker Side yet? And Dark Side?
I have not. I actually have not even went to the dark side yet. So
I saved
I
those for
haven't
the
done
end
either
too.
one of those two.
I saved those for the end too.
Yeah, yeah,
so
because I was
many.
like, I was like, well, I've already gotten to the moon, but I was like, let's just do this, and yeah, but oh man,
Steve's like,
That
oh shit.
it makes me sound.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at like one. I don't know, 135, 150. I don't know. This is ridiculous. 600.
Yeah.
Like, and
it-
that's not even finished.
999, Steve.
40 plus hours. So
That's
my
crazy.
wife was looking at that, and she's like, "You're addicted to this game," and I'm like, "I haven't even done as much as some people."
Yeah.
So I have a friend named Barry, and he is,
Sure, throw me under the bus. Why don't
Yes,
you? Look,
that's
look.
right.
It's like the thing. Well, Jimmy's mom lets him do that kind of deal. Well, I'm not that bad. Look at what Barry's done. Okay, so hey, you know what? His wife's not complaining, so why don't you shut up? You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Greg, where are you at in terms of moons, and how much have you completed so far?
I'm at 500 and I haven't 100%ed a single kingdom because I am having so much difficulty finding some of them. I'm buying the hints and showing me on the map where they are, but I can't, for the life of me, get the moon. So,
Are you
there's-
talking to the parrot to help you? Because the
yeah,
parrot.
it gives me the name of it and it shows like where it is on the map, and I have no idea like how to get it. Like there's two abstract like ones on the Cap Kingdom that I couldn't get. There was like I think there's only one in Cascade, so it's like something ridiculous like that. The Sand Kingdom I gave up with like 10 or something left, and then I moved on to the Wooded.
Cascade Kingdom is. I had one moon, and they wouldn't give me any tips or hints or anything, and I was just like, "Why won't you? Like, what is going on?" And I figured out you have to go do something else in another kingdom before it would even register that, hey, there's another moon here. So, yeah, it was really interesting. But I did all that, and then I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah, so, yeah.
There are a few moons where I would look and I would see like the X and I would have the hint and I'm like, what do I do? And I try everything and then it was always that I'll come back to it, do everything else, and then I'm all right. It's just this one moon. What do I do? What do I do? Then I'd have to figure it out. And there were a few moons. I'll be honest. There were a few moons that I'm like, I know where they are. I know how to get them, but I just can't do it. Why can't I do it? And I'm like, it struggled. I was like, why? And then I realized because I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna look up this. What do I do? And the answer. I did it twice, once in the Sand Kingdom and once in the Cap Kingdom, and the answer to both of them was use motion controls.
Shake your controller.
Shake your controller, and I'm like, are you serious? Like I know what to do, and I played with the Pro controller, so I'm like, oh, that's what I had to shake to go.
Was
a
it
little
one with the
faster.
frog in Cap Kingdom?
Yes, the one with the frog in Cap
Did
Kingdom.
the same thing.
I'm like, what? Why can't I hit this? I'm jumping up. I'm popping out of the frog, like using it a Yoshi, like I'm like shake. I'm like, seriously? Like, that's cheap. Like, come on. I know what to do here. Like, because when you play with the Pro controller, you don't really use the motion controls. Like, the motion controls are more for, like, the Joy-Cons deattached, like that. And I understand that. But with the Pro controller, I'm like, don't make me shake, especially, like, there's one moon, and it's actually in Bowser's Kingdom, where you need to throw the hat, which does the swirl around. And I'm like, you have to do it while moving. So I'm like this, like while trying to move. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I look like a fool.
Toss it sideways. With the Pro controller.
You just do that?
Yeah.
Even still, you're still trying to move like this.
Yeah, it's true actually. Because you gotta keep both hands. Because when you normally do it, I just let go of one side. But if you gotta keep moving, that would be difficult.
It's not really a spoiler in this. It's one of the note pickup ones where you have to throw, but you have to move to keep doing it. So I'm like, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like that was the only moon that I was like really not only forced to use motion controls, but also in an awkward way where I had to use the analog stick. And I felt like that could have been designed a little bit better, but I'm not going to knock the game for that one thing.
Yeah, and I guess if you were using, Joy-Con split, you could easily toss one and move with the other. But I've actually found that I don't like the Joy-Con split. I prefer the Pro controller. I tried, I think yesterday, a couple of days ago, I tried with the Joy-Cons, and it didn't feel right. I felt like I was controlling it just for whatever reason. Like the buttons are the same, but it just didn't feel right. And I felt a lot more comfortable and at home with the Pro Controller.
Same.
Same.
Being someone that actually really enjoyed the Wii remote and nunchuck setup, I actually do not like holding the Joy-Cons like individually like that. So that was kind of a surprise for me. I play primarily in handheld mode, so to see like I had to like disconnect it, open up the little kickstand just to get those stupid moons, like in the Cap Kingdom and the Sand one. It was just so ridiculous. I was like, why can't this be mapped? This is so stupid.
Yeah. That's my biggest complaint, and it's a small complaint at that. And
I was worried about the shaking sometimes in handheld mode. One time I did it, and I was like one of the cheap chiefs in Seaside, and I had to like spin to attack something, and so I'm like shaking my whole Switch, and I'm like, I don't know if this is very good. So yeah, but,
I haven't played with in a handheld mode yet, so maybe I had the same experience, I guess, if I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last night, my wife was like, "Why are you shaking the bed?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to get this stupid thing to go faster."
So I'm gonna let you guys get into some spoiler territory, because I know you want to talk about some things, and I need to. Here's the thing, like, and this is what I'll say before I'll hand it over to you guys, and you can talk about all the spoilers you want to. But before we jump into that, this is the thing that like kills me, and I gotta separate myself, and it's just myself. I know other people fall in this category as well, but because there's so many stinking collectibles in this game, and you find so many things because it's so open, I have not continued through the main story as fast as I would have liked to figure out what's going on and what the end of the story is. And it's a Mario game. It's not meant to like blow your mind with a story, but I do want to know what's going on. But I keep getting held up. And even like when I got into One Kingdom, and I think this is very minor spoilers for some people, but you get your Cappy gets taken at one point early in the game, and I was just like, hold on a second, I'm gonna go do some other stuff before I get to you, because like, there was so many other moons I can collect and everything on the way to him, and I think you can fly through this game fairly fast and get there's the minimal requirements, but I find myself taking my time. I have probably spent like 20 something hours in the game, and I'm not finished yet. And like you guys said, I've gotten so much left to do, and so for me, trying to explore every little nook and cranny of this game is probably going to take me forever to actually complete it, unless I just kind of get my mindset back on, oh no, I'm just going to finish it, then I can go back. I'm going to finish it, then I can go back.
What you're doing is exactly what I did. I didn't move on from any kingdom until I had everything I could possibly get. So I did the same thing. I refused to move on. And as for the story, I mean, this isn't really spoilers, but it's not any more than what you think it is. It's not like some grandiose thing that you're gonna like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that now. It's really as simple as a standard Bowser kidnaps Peach. You've seen this in Super Mario 1. Like, that's really all it is.
Right. Yeah.
So cool.
But the way they broke up the like story to make it like the wedding theme throughout in all the lands, like I think that was just wonderful. I mean, it made you really interested about each kingdom, and to be like, oh yeah, so what are they getting here at this kingdom, I wonder, and let's find out, let's see what's going on here. So yeah, it's really exciting to kind of see that and be like, oh, that's cool, I like it.
Before you leave, Steve, there is something we can discuss, and you can be a part of that. Growing up with Super Mario Brothers, there's one element that was introduced in Super Mario Brothers 3 and continued into World, and then disappeared for a while. That at least myself loved it, and a lot of other people loved it, and that was the Koopa Kids. They were part of the the animated TV show as well, although not using their real names. But they were a part of it, and then they disappeared, and people were wondering for a long time. We wondered what they were, and they finally came back in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, ironically a game that just got re-released, where they were jokes at the end, where they're like, oh yeah, they've been in cages this whole time, and suddenly they brought them back. I think in New Super Mario Brothers for the DS was the first time they came back, and people were happy, and then they started complaining that now they're using them everywhere. Could we get someone different? So now we have the bunnies as different. And what are your take on the bunnies, and could they have just been Koopa Kids and been the same effect?
Yeah. I'll jump in. I was wondering the same thing actually at the very beginning, and how I've rationalized it so far is that they only needed 4 of them, and so it would be really odd to have only a select number of the bunnies. But maybe that transforms later. I'm not sure. So when you get into spoilers, maybe you can talk about that. But for now, it seemed like they only needed 4 of them, and so it would have been weird to only use a small number of the Koopalings in the beginning.
To be
so,
fair, you fight each of them twice, so they could
Yeah,
have
so
used.
you do fight.
there you
8.
go. Okay, so I've only fought them once each so far.
Okay.
So maybe then they could have. I don't know. Then I guess I'm still holding out to think that the rabbits somehow have this tie into the rest of the story. This overall thing.
They
It's all
kind
this
of
thing,
do
kind
in
of do.
a way.
I guess it kind of plays into the whole hat thing, kind of a magician sort of thing, is my guess, but I don't really know. There's kind of a small connection there between pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but yeah, it does seem a little odd that they would have not used them again in the story.
Yeah, there is another explanation. I forget exactly what it is, but like in Japan, there's a myth about like a rabbit on the moon or something. Like there's a story about that. So there in the moon levels, there are a bunch of rabbits, and obviously them. So I think that's one of the reasons for it. And I'm not knocking the characters. I think they're really cool designs. But they don't really have much personality. Other than what you hear in the immediate dialogue, we don't know anything really about them or their mother. So in my eyes, they could have just been interchanged. And do you feel it's a wasted opportunity? Here's brand new characters, and we're not really going to even go into them.
I don't know. I think just for the sake of changing it up, it worked to have newer characters. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, you have everyone complaining about how the Koopa kids are like in Mario Kart 8. They're also in like all the new iterations of Super Mario Brothers. Even though, how many times can it be new? I don't know.
I'd love to see Mama Brutal in a Mario Kart. I just
how about in Super Smash Brothers?
There you go, hit roll.
She'd be a little slow there. I mean, even when you get, and this isn't Chain Chomp, isn't a spoiler because you fight her in Cascade Kingdom. Even when you get the Chain Chomp and you're running away, like she's just like. So I mean, how could she really be in Smash Brothers? You move her 2 feet and she stops.
Yeah,
it's even bigger brute than like Ganondorf or anything.
I love it.
300% just to knock her 3 feet.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna jump out of here for a second. So, spoiler warning for everyone else that's watching. I'll put a code there at the bottom, time code for you to jump ahead. And with me, you'll be coming back in after they get done talking spoilers and everything. But for those that won't want to be spoiled by any of Mario's big deep storyline, go ahead and jump ahead, and I'll join you back when you do that.
All right. Now that Steve is gone, we can talk about some spoilers. So what did you guys think of the ending? And the whole, and by ending, I don't mean the actual final cutscene. I mean the whole climactic, Mario walks into the wedding chapel, that scene onwards.
Mm-hmm. You want to start, Greg?
Sure, I guess I'll start. Yeah,
that sounds good.
That was just really incredible. I enjoyed seeing all the characters like kind of there at for the ceremony and everything, and then like as soon as you're about to like go up and obviously object, then it's like a boom, a trap door, and then like boom, there's the Bowser fight. That part was all kind of pretty much expected. Obviously, the main thing I think we were kind of alluding to is like when you are actually like take control of Bowser, and then you go through that ending sequence. But I really liked that part. That was a lot of fun, and definitely enjoyed seeing Bowser in 8-bit form as well at the very, very end. But everything was so incredible that they had all those details. Even like Peach was in her original 8-bit form, and everything. That was just so pretty and so much fun.
Yeah. I thought the whole Bowser fight and the journey throughout there, it took me a little bit to kind of be like, okay, what do I do now? And like, yeah, especially the last like 4 pillar things where you got to knock down, and so I was like, I kind of ran around and for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I need to hit these things too, and yeah, and so, but then after finally going out and stuff, and then the part that like made me really laugh so much was when Bowser and Mario were bringing their flowers to Princess Peach, and she's just like, "Oh no, see y'all later. I'm off on the journey myself. I don't really care about either one of you." And then Mario's just like patting Bowser's back, and he's like, "It's okay, buddy. We're okay." Like, I thought, I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, yeah.
It's funny you found that hilarious. I was screaming at the TV, "You bitch," because
Were you really?
Mario's been saving her butt. And now he proposes to her. And granted, I know the timing wasn't right and all that stuff, but the way she just said no, walked away, and then there wasn't just walking away. It was the fact that she got on his ship, not hers, his ship, and started to leave him on the freaking moon. Like, so long, thanks for the rescue. I am deserting you here. Yeah. And it's just like, come on. Like, I just went through hell and back for you to save you, and this is how I get treated? Like, you just don't do that. Like, that was just that to me, that was out of character. I mean, a kiss on the nose, fine. A birthday cake, fine. That's in character. But to just leave and then to commit Grand Theft Auto on the moon is just like, really? I would be like, you know what? I'm going to Daisy or going back to Pauline. Like that's it. Like, you're totally not. Next time you get kidnapped, you're stuck marrying him, because that attitude. I'm like, no way. And
yeah,
to me,
that's what I kind of thought you were describing earlier too.
Yes,
actually.
That's what I was describing earlier.
Yes.
As for the actual Bowser fight, I thought the Bowser fight was neat. I thought the part after that was fantastic, and obviously the pillars was when the song kicked in. That, like, I knew what the pillars right away. I'm like, oh, I know what to do here. Like, and the song actually kind of tells you too if you listen. But I'm like, oh man, I'm totally going at it. And I just thought, like, when they're in the spark form and you see like the big Bowser head, like, I thought that was goofy with the mustache, and it just worked. Like, that part worked. But I wanted to see a little bit more afterwards. And Peach immediately leaves again. She's like, I'm going on a world tour. Screw you. I mean, she gives you, but she's just like, bye. Like, I've just got back from being kidnapped. So what am I going to do to my loyal subjects? Deal. I'm going away on vacation.
That's right. Yeah, I got to go see the places that I went when I was kidnapped, I guess, right?
And so she even says when you go to Bowser's Kingdom, oh, this is the first time I'm here voluntarily. Like,
yes, that's right. I'm like, why are you here? It's like, yeah, like, go away from here. That is true. That's right. Yep. I didn't think about it too much like that, but you're right. It's kind of like, well, why are you doing that? That's right. So, oh man, but I just thought, she was kind of like, you two, you are just like constantly fighting over me, and you all just need to relax. And Mario, come see me when everything's cooled down a little bit, so if you're gonna act like Bowser and do this, that's fine. But
really, she has a thing for Luigi. That's why she's doing it.
That's probably it. That's right.
Yeah, I have to definitely agree with Barry on all of that. I mean, I was a lot more shocked than anything to see get turned down by the woman that he saves all the time. So. Oh
yes, yeah.
All the time. And hey, you know what? I don't know if you remember the Legend of Zelda cartoon back in the day. Link actually stayed in the castle to be there and help protect the castle. Think about that. Hey, Mario, move into the castle. Bowser's probably not going to kidnap me with you right here. It's like his bodyguard, boyfriend, husband. It works.
Yeah.
Now, I know you guys haven't finished all the way. I do want to touch base on the end rewards a little bit. As you know, like in Mario 64, you get 120 stars. You get the cannon open on the outside. You get to go to the roof, and you get to see Yoshi and get 100 lives. Not that you need them anymore. And the wing cap, of course, to fly around the outside, which at the time was amazing, but now it's like it's really small out here. I don't know if you guys know what you get for getting all 880 moons and then going further and getting 999.
No, I don't really.
Do you know what you get?
Yeah, I think I'd watched like the something
Game.
that was showed. Yeah.
Okay.
I was avoiding game exposure.
But I don't think I'd be bothered by a spoiler either, though, Barry. So.
It's underwhelming. It's underwhelming to like the thing with Yoshi was special. It was like, oh, here's Yoshi for the first time in 64 bits. We can't ride him, but at least we get to see him, and you get to fly around and open up the outside. Here you get for 880, you get a gold balloon, yay, on your ship, and you get to refight Bowser slightly harder. Do the whole ending sequence, and then after you beat it, the credits roll, and then you get a postcard that you can't save or see again. That's it. And when you finish that, you pop out of the painting. It's very underwhelming. And then if you decide to go get all 999, and by getting all, that means buying 119, because you had to buy 119 to get 999 without possible DLC. The Peach's Castle gets a black top hat. And if you go to the very top of it and you throw your cap at it and you hold it to spin around the top, it pans out and you hear the Mario 1, da 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 with fireworks, and like it's like 3 or 4 seconds, and that's it. That's your whole reward.
Wow.
That is your entire reward, and it's cute and it's nice, but it's like, I just busted my butt for all these, and this is what you give me? You can't give me a new power-up, or you can't give me a new world. Maybe go to Isle Delfino from Sunshine, or get some love there. Or how about go to see Rosalina? You're already in space. Go see her ship and walk around there a bit. Like something else, like just a little bonus stuff. Or how about even Luigi? How about like in the Galaxy games where they let you play Luigi at the end? Like I know there's the Luigi costume, but actually have him show up. Like something. I mean, they had the L is real 2049 or whatever from the courtyard in there. Like how about when you have it all, you throw your cap at the star and Luigi pops out of it. Like, oh, I've been hiding since 1998 or 96. I mean, like something like that. I don't know. I kind of expected more. I was kind of shocked that there wasn't more. At least in that regards.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable too, so.
The other thing was when you go, like if you go right now back to the Chapel on the Moon, if you go in there, you can't fight Bowser normally, but if you look in the hallway, there's 2 paintings. The one on the left is the Bowser fight. Like if you jump into it, you replay the whole ending. The one on the right is empty, and it says, oh, I wonder what's here. I was expecting, if you're going to fight Bowser again, how cool would it be to fight Mario 64 Bowser, or even Sunshine Hot Tub Bowser, or Galaxy Bowser, or something like that, like a past Bowser battle. Like, oh, that'd be such a cool reward. And instead you get the exact same thing where it's just very, very slightly harder. Like, and it's by slightly, I mean you have to dodge a slight little more, or his pattern slightly changes. Like it's not really hard.
In terms of like even like the other harder versions, there was a few of the other like bosses I had a lot of trouble with, like the harder versions of them.
I did too.
So,
which ones did you have the big problems with?
It was definitely the Sand Kingdom one, the guy with the 2 hands. Like all those mummies just like kept like swarming me, and like they like kill me when I'm like trying to like throw my head at the hand. So I don't know. He was especially difficult. Some of the other ones weren't actually very hard, but like I even
no problem with. For me, it was the bird in the pot from the Luncheon Kingdom, and the Thunder Dragon. Those 2, it took me a couple tries.
The dragon one actually did my first time. I was expecting it was gonna be very hard, but it was like just about as hard as like the original one was.
Yeah, see, and that's the funny thing. It's like everyone has difficulties with different parts. What about you, Blake? Did you find any of the rematches harder?
Yeah, actually, the only one that I did was the actually the hand guy, the mummy, and the Toasterina. So yeah, so I actually didn't jump into any other paintings yet, because I also was like, well, let's go back through and get more of the moon, and then I can come back to Mushroom Kingdom and do some of it some more. So yeah, so I basically did only about half of Mushroom Kingdoms and collected all my achievements from Toadette, and I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go, and do something here and get these others. So, yeah, so I just played him again, but yeah, it was a lot more difficult, I felt like, than the first time for sure. So, yeah,
Oh yeah, the mummies definitely made it more difficult.
yeah,
See,
that's right.
Toadette, did you guys want a accept all button for Toadette?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Yes,
nice,
yes.
right? Just
That
like,
was
okay,
ridiculous.
thank you, appreciate it, but yeah, just give me 15 moons right now. That's
Yeah,
right, or
spend all.
stars in
'Cause
this one.
I was getting impatient. I was just like hitting like A, and then he'd like jump, and then I'm like, oh great,
Yes,
now I have to like wait another second for him to like talk to her
I
again.
did the same
Oh
thing.
yes,
It's kind of like Korok's. Like, how many times did you drop a rock on a Korok's head just because you're like, okay, let's move on?
yeah, that's right, that's right.
Now
Uh,
here's a quick question. The end where you control Bowser. How do you guys now want a 3D Mario platformer where you play as Bowser? Because I
oh,
totally do.
Oh,
that would be
definitely.
so amazing.
I think to actually
I
have
would
like a
love.
Mario game where it could be Bowser would be fantastic. It doesn't have to be like Mario's the villain. It could just be like Bowser just like has a problem with somebody else or something. But
There
Yeah,
you go. And if you got 999 moons, why couldn't you play Odyssey just as Bowser?
yeah.
For the
I
rest?
mean, he's already in the game.
That's right. He's
Kind of,
already in the game.
I mean, Donkey Kong Country did that too, if you think about it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Donkey Kong, didn't go against Mario. He went against, Cruel or K. Rool
That's
instead.
right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Now
Um,
we're going.
what's that?
I hear some banging. It
yeah,
sounds
my daughter's playing on the door right now. She's like, please open the
Okay.
door.
like... Yeah,
Yes.
the fun of being a father. What was I gonna say? Did you guys do some of the little hidden things like in New Donk City, for example, the theater? Did you guys get into the theater at all?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I did like the main.
No, not that theater. There's
Oh.
a side theater.
Wait.
No, I haven't redone Metro yet. So
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, well, I'm not going to spoil what's there, but there is a side theater where there's a line of people, and this is like, oh yeah, they're playing this classic movies on, and it's really cool. Like going in there, I was like, oh my god, like this is awesome. And there's a lot of those little things, like the also in Metro Kingdom, the T-Rex when you're on the scooter, like
Oh,
that was like, oh my god, this is Sonic Adventure here, but like this is
that
awesome.
game. That was awesome. Yeah, that's so true. Somebody had kind of spoiled that for me. They were like, "Have you got to the chase scene yet?" And I was just like, "Wait, the chase scene? I don't know what you're talking about." And then I did that, and I was just like, "That's amazing." So yeah, I'm like, "That's incredible." So yeah. Oh,
Now,
it's so good.
Greg, did you? I know Blake said he hadn't. Have you gone to Dark Side or Darker Side yet?
neither. Oh, I tried Dark Side once and I lost to the second one, so I gave up after a couple tries and it was good.
I don't know if you. I can talk about them, but I don't.
I was getting very impatient with the first one. He kept knocking like 2 hits off of me. He'd like line up his hat and then I would be like all set and then like it would just hit me every time. I was like thought I was far enough back and it would still hit me.
It's funny after I beat the game and all that. I found out that there's ways to legitimately cheat at Mario, which I found very shocking that they would do. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but a Bowser amiibo will show you where purple coins are that you're missing.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that until I had like 3 left, and I was like, "Oh man, well fine. You know what? I'm gonna go find those because I spent probably 2 hours looking." And then the bigger cheat one though is the Peach amiibo. I don't know if you're aware of what she does, but you can abuse her in some situations,
Man.
and it's totally cheating. Greg, if you're having problems with the bunnies, you can abuse that and make it a lot easier for you.
Interesting.
Yes.
I didn't see the new wedding amiibos. I only have the standard ones.
I'm talking the wedding.
Oh
Peach.
yeah.
The wedding
Yeah.
peach gives you a heart when you tap it, but it's not just a regular heart; it's the bonus heart. So you
That
get
gives
6.
you like 6 hits.
It gets 6 hits, and it's not like once a day. You can
No.
spam it.
Yes. If you are injured even more, like you just use it and she gives you that back. I tried it a couple of times there because I was just like, oh, I wonder if I can do this again. And yep, it just does. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but
It's like pay to win almost in a Mario game.
yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I'm back. I hope you guys had a good spoiler alert discussion, and mentioned that T Rexes. We were just talking about that off camera before we came back in, but I was excited to. You guys excited to have a T Rex in the game? I was surprised that it come so early in the game. I thought it was gonna be something you kind of had to work up to or something. And I was like, oh wow, it's right there in the beginning. So I don't know how much you guys dived into, all the different, things like taking over and all that sort of thing. But I want to finish up with that chat because it's such a huge mechanic in this game, using the cap to take over different stuff and everything. What do you think of that so far? Barry, you're done. So, but the rest of us are still working on trying to complete different stuff. Is that a good move? What did it work? Do you think it works well for a Mario game? What do you guys think so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think it kind of it changes it up in a lot of ways, but it also like makes it really enjoyable and a lot of fun. So I got in the hang of just, oh, I'm going to throw my cap at everything, and then in the real world I got to a place where I was like, oh, I wonder if I threw a cap at that, if I would get anything from it. There's a little light pole there. Like, so, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I played too much. But, yeah. But
Next time we do a game chat with Blake, he's going to be a fire hydrant.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And I thought it was just so enjoyable. And then to capture things and to get to become them, to make that Mario's power up, basically, that there's no other power ups. It's that, and I just think that it brought a new level to the game, and also kind of made it very new and fresh and enjoyable in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. My favorites were definitely just conquering the Goombas and the bullet bills. Obviously, this is the early chapter, so it's not no major spoilers there, but. Yeah. There's a few other Mario enemies that you get to control later on, and that's still really fun being those as well. But fun fact, I actually didn't even find the T-Rex until after I beat Bowser. So.
Oh really?
Wait, really? You didn't get the T-Rex in Cascade Kingdom?
Like the one that's sleeping right up there at the top?
You just
I didn't find it. No, I don't know how I didn't even.
That is fascinating.
Wow. I would love to know the statistics of people who did not find the T-Rex before beating it. You got to be in the 1% there.
That's true. It's one thing to miss that rock monster on in Zelda, I have for a long time. But man, that T-Rex, I feel like it's right there. So, man, kudos to you for just stick into the game. I went exploring as soon as I got out there.
Well, yeah, I felt like I was exploring everything, but I never even saw it. So I don't know how I didn't even go up there. I mean, I was trying to climb all the mountains. I wasn't really finding too many moons when I was in there the very first time, and then I didn't replay the level until just recently. So, the only other moon that I got, there was one in the 8-bit section, and then that was the only one that I really found. And then it was just okay, you have enough to move on, let's go. And then it wouldn't let me explore anymore. So.
Well,
that's interesting.
Well, it is possible, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know that. That is awesome.
Did you find another dinosaur somewhere else? A little darker?
Yeah, right. in a darker area,
a little lower and darker.
Yeah.
You can capture that one too.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
That one was weird because I was playing along and then trying to run from it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone just blasts it and it falls over. I was like, my wife was watching me play. I'm like, what happened? I was like, I have no idea, but someone's looking out for me, and so I just went and took over the dinosaur. I have no idea what happened.
Yes.
So. You can make it run into trees. That's how you take it over.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
And
maybe
it's
it
interesting.
ran in a tree. It looked like someone just like shot it down or something like that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, as for the capture mechanic, I think it's a fresh take. I do not think it's going to replace power-ups. I think power-ups will be back. They're too much of a staple for Mario. But it was a unique idea. I'd like to see it further. It almost reminded me a little bit of Paper Mario with your partners, which were Mario staples, and it was kind of cool getting to play and using some of those abilities in that game. I did enjoy it. I did notice that there were a few, like even when beating it, like well, I missed a few. How did I miss a few? Where did I miss a few? And the ones I missed, which you actually get to in the Metro Kingdom, I think is the first place you see it, is the piranha plants. And I didn't realize that you can actually capture the piranha plants. You use them very, very little. They have almost no use, but they actually count as capture. And I was like, that's kind of neat. You know, here's an enemy that I didn't think you would even be able to capture, and you can. But you have to do something first. And I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of puzzle element.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. But, you know, they only did it on the enemies that you don't really need to. It's more a completionist. Like, for the sake of doing it, you can capture them. But I thought the variety was very good. I know like a lot of people were like panicking like when they showed him possessing a human in the trailer, like oh my god, like the internet went crazy. Except there's only one human you can actually capture because everybody else has hats on, which I found kind of interesting. But I would have liked to just been able to just control a random human and walk around the city.
Oh,
and
believe
like,
me, I've tried.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I've tried. I hit every one of them with the hat.
Yeah.
It was like, one of these,
Yeah.
one of you are going to lose the hat, just like the enemies, and you're going to be able to capture it.
Yeah.
I think that was a missed opportunity. I think it would have been cool to just walk around as a person and then talk to different people and get different responses. But I guess they felt that was a little bit too much of a possession thing. But the RC car, it's okay to possess the other humans to drive an RC car.
And you can do the scooter, which is pretty fun. So,
That's cool.
although I wanted when I do the scooter though, I start thinking about Mario Kart, and I want to power slide around them. But as soon as you hit the ZR button or ZL button, you're done. You like non-possess or whatever, you take over, capture whatever Nintendo wanted us to use instead of possess. But yeah, so it's like, oh man, I can't power slide around the corners. So.
Yeah, now we need a Mario Grand Theft Auto. You know, I thought that was an interesting thing. Like they actually gave you a rideable. Like, is that when was the last time outside of Mario Kart, like in a staple, has he ridden on something? I know Super Mario Land with the submarine and the plane, but was that really the last and only time prior to this in a mainline Mario game that Mario has actually ridden a vehicle of some kind? Because I can't think of another one.
I know you can in like Mario Maker, you can make him ride stuff, but that's not a mainline game. So.
Yeah, well, it is in a way, but I mean, that's a little different.
Right.
Kabito's shoe and stuff, but that was.
Yeah.
That's not really a vehicle. That fits in the world. Like the plane and the submarine of Mario Land were real life vehicles.
Right.
Just like the scooter is. So I don't think there's another one. It could be. Correct me in the comments if there is one. But I don't think there is another one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they kind of pushed it in so many different ways, and it still felt like a really solid Mario game. I think that's been really cool to just see them push the line a little bit, but it still felt really, really good and a ton of fun. And I know as soon as we get in recording here, I'm going to resist the urge to start editing right away, and I'm going to go play some more Mario. So
yeah.
Was anybody else upset that when you first meet Pauline, she doesn't say "long time no see" or something like that? Like she almost seems like she doesn't even know who he is at first, and it's just like, what, really? Like, you were my first girlfriend. Like, come on. Like, was I really that bad? You know,
you have to go back with your construction outfit on or something.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't even work.
No.
And this isn't necessarily a spoiler, but there is a part where you do talk to her and she asks you questions, and one of them is, what was I captured by in the past? And it's the obvious answer is it's a great ape, which is Donkey Kong, which clearly puts this past Donkey Kong in the timeline, which means she knows Mario. Why isn't she recognizing him? It's just like, oh yeah, cool, you're here. Not like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Long time no see. Last time you saved me from a giant ape. This time, you got to save me from Bowser.
Yeah.
That's
Saved
right.
by City from Bowser.
That is true.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
before we wrap up, any final thoughts about Super Mario Odyssey that you'd like to share?
It's so good. Everybody go buy it. Go buy a Switch if you don't have it, and buy Super Mario Odyssey.
Buy the red
That's
Joy-Con
all
one.
I could. Oh, just so good. Take your breath away. Yeah, and it's not even Breath of the Wild, but
If you like 3D platformers at all, and I know it's a big time for 3D platformers. I know Sonic Forces just came out. I know Super Lucky's Tale just came out. And Poi just came out a few weeks ago for the Switch. It seems like 3D platformers are suddenly huge. I mean, after Yooka-Laylee, but this tops them all. Like, this is, you have to play this game. Like, whatever you have to do, mow an extra yard, shovel extra snow, you need to play this game. Do it.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with both you guys. Definitely the Mario game of a lifetime. It's right up there with Mario 64 as being one of the best 3D games of all time. Probably surpasses it, obviously, because everything's cleaner and better.
Yeah.
Now we wait 20 years for another one.
Wow. Yeah.
It's going to be great, and I think Mario, obviously they keep making it better and better, and it's going to be really cool to see what they do in the future. I know for one that I'm already thinking about maybe at some point we do maybe a video and rank our top Mario games, and I'm interested to see maybe where this lies and everybody's top Mario games. But
are
now,
you talking 2D and 3D together, or
we'll
two
have
separate?
to decide. We'll have to see how we go. Yeah.
That's right.
But even Cat Mario is coming to play with Greg. So.
Yeah, I see. Cat Mario.
So there's a little teaser for why you should subscribe to our NintendoFuse YouTube channel, because we'll be back at some point with our top Mario games, and we'll see how that goes. We have podcast once a month. We have once a month industry talk interviews with people from the gaming industry with Barry, and that's always awesome. We have these game chats every other week, so make sure you definitely stay tuned and subscribe to NintendoFuse here on YouTube, and you can get all this awesome gaming discussions and interviews and everything as long as you subscribe and hit that bell, because you want to be alerted as soon as we post new videos. That's the best way. So hit that bell and share with your friends as well. So thank you guys for so much for joining us today for another NintendoFuse game chat.
Thank you guys. Let us know what you think of Super Mario Odyssey in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts too.
Cool. We're out.
Odyssey, yes, see.